All right, having hair, good thing, right? Makes you feel good, makes you feel younger. And then sometimes people lose their hair. Statistics, you can't avoid it. As you get older, tends to be more common in guys. And bald guys are out there like, I like being bald. It makes me feel more mature. No, nobody likes being bald. Even you, bald guy, you don't like being bald. And if you could have avoided losing your hair, or you can do something about regrowing hair, you would have. And that's where today's video sponsor, Keeps, is here to help. The best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair left. Get treated from home. With Keeps, a licensed doctor will review your information online and recommend the right hair loss treatment plan for you. Then, your treatment is shipped directly to your door every 3 months. Message your Keeps doctor 24/7 with any questions or concerns you may have along the way, and track your progress with the Keeps Progress Tracking tool. Keeps offers generic versions of the FDA-approved medications for hair loss, which makes it more affordable. Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors and why hundreds of thousands of men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention. So you're ready to tackle your potential hair loss? Visit keeps.com/SSR. The sooner you do it, the more hair you're going to keep on your head and even regrow. So visit keeps.com/SSR. They've got a special offer right on the other side of that. That's keeps.com/SSR. I know what you're thinking. Is that a Supra? Oh yeah, it is. What's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti, and I've been getting a lot of calls recently for renting a Mclaren, right? And I always say no. And why would I do that? Why don't I rent Mclarens? It's the one car I don't see myself ever renting again. And there's a couple of reasons behind that. So, you can probably guess. It's business related, not personally related. And this has got nothing to do with the rock chip Mclaren that I just rented. So if you're tuning in because you think it's got something to do with that, I'm not talking about me renting as a consumer, because I would rent one as a consumer. I just wouldn't rent them as a business owner. Now, I've had many Mclarens in the past. I've had 650 convertibles. I've had 12Cs, 12C Spiders, 570s. So I've had Mclarens across the board, and they just never turn out to be profitable. And first off, they don't generate the top line revenue of a Ferrari or Lamborghini, right? So that means, what does that mean? For non-business speaking people, that means it's not generating the same amount of money in a calendar year or in the same time period as a Ferrari or Lamborghini. And it generally won't fetch the same day rate, even though it may cost just as much as a Ferrari or Lamborghini to purchase. The purchase is the key, though. That's the reason I don't think I'll ever carry those. So if you buy a Mclaren new, and forget about this wonky market we're in now, but you buy a Mclaren new, there's a good chance you're going to lose a lot of money, right? My first Mclaren, the 12C, I thought it was like a new, cool car. It was like, wow, you know, we should get one of those, try it out. I remember paying $273,000 for it. I think it was like a 278 window sticker. And then it turns out it was worth like 40 grand less. I was an idiot. I didn't do my homework. The dealer sold it to me. I said, what can you do? And this was like the stupid mistake on my end, right? That was very dumb back in the day. Fast forward 6 months. So I had this car for 6 months. The dealership calls me up. Hey, we got a Spider. And he's got a sucker on the line here, right? We got a Spider. I'm like, great. I want to trade in. If you can get me out of the coupe, I'll take the Spider. What'll you give me? Guy's like 160. And I'm like, guy, you just charged me. And the thing's got 3,000 or 4,000 miles on it. You just charged me $273,000. You're telling me to take a $103,000 bath on this car in 6 months, and you have the stones to call me up and try to sell me another one? What am I, an idiot? So I was stuck with that car for a while. That's the one that ended up in the autocross in the parking lot, jumping the curbs and blowing the wheels off of it. But all the other cars we've had, McLarens go one of two ways, right? McLarens either depreciate like a brick, right? Like just cement Nikes on the guy that the mafia people are throwing into the Hudson River, right to the bottom. So I know you're smarty pants over there. You're like, hey, Rob, I don't think you're very good at business, right? Why don't you just buy it used? Instead of buying it for $270, why don't you buy it for the $160, right? We got you there. Well, that's a double-edged sword. You buy a used McLaren, usually if you buy one that's fully depreciated, because it just goes, and then it levels off eventually, but you buy one that's fully depreciated, it probably doesn't have a warranty on it, and owning a McLaren out of warranty, big problem, right? The problem you're going to run into is both utilization and repair costs. Now, even if you think like, oh, I'm just going to go out and defraud a warranty company and not tell them it's a rental, and I'm going to get a warranty contract for $6,500 a year, and that's got me covered. Even if they do the repairs, that car is going to go down so much more, and I don't know why. McLarens tend to have a lot more problems than Ferrari and Lamborghini. I guess Ferrari and Lamborghini have been making cars longer, but McLaren has been in the game for a long time. So you still have the same technology, you still have the same advancement that anything past 2010, Ferrari and Lamborghini is pretty reliable. Not so with McLaren. So you have the expense of repairing them. If it is out of warranty, it can get very expensive. And I've done videos on how expensive it can be. And you're talking like $30,000 for the, what was it? Something stupid, right? It was something that there was debris in the brake lines or something like that. Or no, the steering rack went. And it was $35,000 to replace the steering rack on the car. That's a non-starter. To buy a car for $1.25 and then have to spend 35 grand for a steering rack, which you've done nothing to make go bad. Would you turn too hard? No. So the maintenance costs are killer. But on top of that, and even when I had one of those cars, I bought a second car that was crashed just to pull the parts off of it to fix my car, because it was cheaper to do that than it was to try to buy these parts. Think about that. That's crazy, the amount of effort I had to go through to save the money there. But now you're talking, you've got a car that's down all the time, and you talk to any rental company, anybody that rents out McLarens, they're going to say the same thing. Oh, yeah, like, hey, I know you had the 600 LT for tomorrow. Well, sorry, water pump went. Oh, sorry this, sorry that, sorry that. And so now you're losing the revenue on that car. And that's a problem too. Like if you either want a car that's reliable, it can go out and you can keep the utilization up, because a car doesn't decide to break when it's convenient. It breaks when you need it. It's like, oh, cool, July 2nd. All right, we're bringing the car. Sorry about that, just popped a transmission code. And you can't deliver cars like that, and they have a lot of electrical issues. You can't bring a car to somebody with like a transmission code or something that's like potential safety hazard. You got to bring it to the dealership. So you're either buying it and losing a ton of money, right? And like it's under warranty, and if it breaks, no big deal. Or you buy it out of warranty and it's like spotty at best. It doesn't generate the same revenue as the other cars because it's not operating long enough, and it's not fetching the same day rate. So you're running into those issues. And then the last issue you're going to have is substitutability. Like I get people that call up from McLaren, hey, you have a McLaren? No, but we've got a Ferrari or Lamborghini. Okay, I'll take one of those. But you never have somebody like, hey, I'm sorry, the Ferrari's not available, we got a McLaren. No thanks. Or we got a Lamborghini and Ferrari aren't available, we got a McLaren. It doesn't substitute for the Ferraris or Lamborghinis. Ferrari and Lamborghini, pretty interchangeable. I think Lamborghini is the strongest in the rental game, the strongest make. They go out more, the utilization and the demand for Lamborghinis is stronger than Ferrari, and it's stronger than McLaren. Significantly stronger than McLaren. But sometimes you get people that only call up and want McLaren, and that's much more rare than any other make. Lamborghini is usually like, yeah, if you call for a Ferrari, you don't have a Ferrari, take a Lambo. A little bit of crossover there. If you don't have a Lambo, you want a Ferrari, yeah, I'll take the Ferrari. McLaren is much less substitutable. So you start adding all these up. So you're going to lose a lot of money, but you still like, oh, well, cool. You still made $120,000 on the car in the year. Well, great. You're either losing significantly on this depreciation. There's a cost of borrowing. There's a cost of insurance. There's a cost of, like, it's just the money is better spent elsewhere than to cater to those customers that only would like a McLaren, which is a small percentage of the people looking to rent. Now, am I saying McLarens are bad cars? When they work, they are phenomenal. Like the 720 is sick. Like even the 12C, a base 12C from 2012, I jumped in that car. I'm like, this thing beats Ferrari every which way in speed, performance, everything, but it's just not reliable. And to compare something to a Ferrari and be like, that car is not reliable is sort of the inherent issue I have. And that's why I'm not going to carry McLarens. What would make me carry McLarens in the future? Well, I don't know, if the market didn't go like this on those cars. And why don't I get it like second year into third year where it's still under warranty? It's not really worth it. Because once it crosses that warranty period, the value goes down even further. So I'm up in the air. I don't think, or if they become reliable enough that I'm like, oh, whew. But I think it's so ingrained in my brain that they've been so unreliable, and I've done this so many times that I've been bitten so many times, and I've generated I'm legitimately millions of dollars renting Mclarens, but it's also cost me close to that. And the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze. So if you're calling me for a Mclaren, I'm not going to be able to help. If you want to start a rental company near me and rent Mclarens, guess who's going to send you a handful of business? That's this guy. For anyone who won't take a Ferrari, Lamborghini, or something else, and they only want a Mclaren, I'm sending them to you. Thank you for watching. Rob Ferretti. See you tomorrow. All right, thanks for watching the whole video. You know my other company, Adventure Drives. Well, we've got 3 drives coming up this year. We're doing a DC to Nashville drive through Tail of the Dragon, through the Smoky Mountains, drinking some moonshine. That's going to be a great time. That's in the end of April. Interested in something longer? Well, we're going to go to France and Spain for our European drive this summer. That's going to be in the first week of August. And Scotland, which you've heard so much about, will again be this coming October. So check them out, adventuredrives.com. There's a link below in the description.